In this video, I'm going to share a common but easily avoidable marketing mistake that could be holding your business back from real growth. It's something I see happening over and over again, especially with business owners who are eager to get results but haven't yet nailed down the essentials. The good news is that I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid it and what to do instead. Even if you've been running your business for years, even if you're already heavily invested in your marketing, and even if you feel confident that you're already doing everything right. Because this simple shift in your strategy can make all the difference in building a bigger, better, and more profitable business. In fact, I'm going to walk you through the same principles that I've used to grow my own seven-figure marketing agencies and that I teach hundreds of agency owners every single day. They're also the same things that I've used with clients like Google and Meta and Amazon and Snapchat and Adobe. In other words, these aren't hypothetical strategies. These are tested, proven systems that have helped business owners stop wasting time on tactics that just don't work and finally get the attention of their ideal customers. By the end of this video, you'll know how to identify your true target market and why most businesses get this wrong, where to focus your marketing efforts to reach your ideal customers, and how to stop copying your competitors and start building a marketing strategy that works for you. But first, let me tell you a quick little story about squirrels. Yes, you heard that right. Squirrels. Right, little buddy? And how a simple squirrel maze reminded me of a powerful lesson about marketing. The other day, my 9-year-old son was watching a video in class. It was the classic Mark Rober squirrel maze video. If you haven't seen it, it's an entertaining experiment where Mark Rober builds an elaborate maze to outsmart squirrels trying to steal his birdseed. Naturally, my son was hooked and inspired. He rushed home with this grand plan to build a squirrel maze of his very own in our backyard. He'd drawn up blueprints and collected a variety of nuts in order to test walnuts versus cashews, and even began constructing a mock-up maze with materials that he could find around the house, like Lego and random wood scraps and some random household items. Naturally, I was excited for him. His creativity and initiative were impressive and looked like he was having a blast, but as a marketer, I couldn't help but feel a little bit concerned, because there was one important question that he hadn't considered. So, after admiring his work, I had to ask him, "Hey buddy, this is awesome, but have you ever seen any squirrels in our backyard?" It was an important question, the kind of question that you need to ask before investing time and energy and resources into any project. His answer? No. But it's an easy mistake to make, because our backyard's full of all kinds of other wildlife. Rabbits and deer and ducks and eagles and even the occasional black bear and cougar sometimes wander through. But not a single squirrel. At that moment, I realized that this was more than just a nice father-son moment. It was a powerful analogy for how many business owners out there approach their marketing. You see, so many business owners make the exact same mistake that my son did. They get excited about a shiny new marketing tactic they've seen somewhere, maybe something their competition is doing or a trending strategy on social media. It seems like a great idea, so they dive headfirst into it without really thinking it through. Maybe it's jumping on TikTok because everyone says it's the next big thing, or maybe it's running Facebook ads because your competitor is doing it, or maybe it's starting a blog because some marketing guru said that it's a must-have for SEO. But here's the catch. They never stop to ask themselves the critical question: are my customers even there? Just like my son building a maze for squirrels that don't exist, many businesses invest heavily in marketing strategies that don't actually reach their target audience, putting their time and money and energy into platforms and tactics that aren't aligned with where their ideal customers are spending their time online. Sadly, the cost of chasing the wrong audience, or chasing the right audience but in the wrong location, is huge. Not only can it drain your resources, but can also lead to frustration when you don't see results. Here's a real-life example. Imagine for a second a local plumbing business trying to get more clients by running Facebook ads simply because they saw their competition doing it, so they figured they better show up there too. So they set up a Facebook ad campaign, spend a good amount of money on ads, and only later realize that their ideal target market, who just so happen to be homeowners needing emergency plumbing services in this case, well, they're far more likely to search on Google when they've got a problem, rather than scroll through Facebook. And so the result of this campaign is a poor return on investment, a missed opportunity to reach the right customers with this offer through a more effective channel like, say, Google search ads or local SEO. This mistake is the equivalent of setting up a squirrel maze in the yard that's full of rabbits and deer. You can have the most elaborate and well-crafted marketing strategy out there, but if your audience isn't there, it's all pretty much just a giant waste of time. So how do you avoid this costly mistake of doing the wrong things in the wrong place for the wrong people? Well, it all comes down to asking the right questions before you dive into any marketing strategy. And 3 of the most important questions every business owner should ask are, who exactly is my target market? What is their biggest pain or problem that I can help them solve? And where are they spending their time online? Now, I appreciate these may seem like simple questions, but the answers can dramatically change the way you approach your marketing and the results, in other words, the money that your campaigns deliver. So let's break these questions down now, starting with question number 1, who exactly is your market? Many business owners assume they know their market, but when you dig deeper, it's often clear that they've never really defined it. A vague answer like, anyone who needs my product or service just isn't enough. You need to be specific. In other words, what are their demographics? Things like age and gender and income and occupation. What are their geographics? Like what country or state or province or city do they live in? And what are their psychographics? Like what are their interests and their values and their lifestyles? Understanding these factors will help you design your marketing message to resonate with your ideal audience. It'll also guide your decisions on where to focus all of your marketing efforts. For example, if you're targeting, say, busy professionals, well, they're likely spending their time on LinkedIn and possibly YouTube, and are less likely to be found on TikTok. On the other hand, if your market is teenagers, well then TikTok or Snapchat might be the right platforms to reach them. But like we just talked about, their age is just one piece of the puzzle. So you also need to look at their geographic and, more importantly, their psychographic details, like their values, interests, and lifestyles. Okay, moving on to question number 2. What is their biggest pain or problem that you can help them solve? Once you've clearly identified who your market is, the next critical question to ask is, what is their biggest pain or problem that you can help them solve? This, my friend, is the heart of effective marketing. Every successful business solves a specific problem or fulfills a specific need, but if you don't know what that problem is for your customers, you risk offering solutions they just don't care about and are therefore only going to ignore. Lucky for you, there's a few very simple and yet incredibly effective ways to get crystal clear on your customers' pain points. First off, you can talk to your customers. The best way to understand your market's struggles is to ask them directly. So you can use surveys, you can do customer interviews, or even one-to-one conversations to uncover their frustrations and their desires and what keeps them up at night. Next, study online forums and social media. Platforms like Reddit or Facebook groups or niche forums. Well, these are all gold mines for understanding the problems that your audience is discussing. You want to pay attention to the questions and the complaints that keep popping up, because these are clues to their biggest pain points. After that, don't be afraid to look at your competitors' reviews. Check out what customers are saying about your competitors, both positive and negative, as these can give you insight into what customers value most and where they're feeling let down. The better you understand your market's problems, the better you'll be able to position your business as the perfect solution. It'll also help you craft messaging that resonates with them on a personal level, making your marketing efforts way more effective. This is why something that I love to say is that customers don't buy when they understand, they buy when they feel understood. Okay, moving on to question number 3, which is, where are they spending their time online? And maybe a little bit offline, but mostly online. Once you've identified who your market is and what their biggest pains and problems are, the next step is to figure out where they're most active online and possibly offline. For example, what social media platforms do they spend the most time on? Are they searching on Google for anything in particular? Are they reading industry blogs or participating in online forums? Each platform has its own demographic and user behavior patterns, so knowing where your audience hangs out will make sure that you're putting your time and your money and your energy in the right places. Here's some examples, though, to help make this a bit more clear. LinkedIn is great for B2B marketing, connecting with decision makers and showcasing thought leadership. Instagram and Pinterest tend to work well for visually driven industries like fashion and food and travel. Facebook has a really solid advertising platform and is great for hyper-local targeting. Google Ads and SEO are ideal for service-based businesses targeting customers who are actively searching for solutions online. And YouTube is probably one of the greatest marketing opportunities available today, but there is, of course, a barrier to entry and a learning curve associated with learning how to make videos. But with a bit of practice, it's really not that hard. So you've got to make sure to find out where your ideal customers are present and active, because if you don't know where your audience is, the odds of wasting time and money on platforms and strategies that just aren't going to work is pretty much guaranteed. And that's not good, is it, little buddy? That means no. All right, let's talk about competition for a second, because this is a huge point. Because while it's definitely smart to keep your eye on what the competition is up to, one mistake I see business owners make all the time is basing their marketing decisions entirely on what their competitors are doing. The thing is, what works for them may not work for you. You could have a completely different target market, offer, or style, or brand, or personality. Just because your competitor appears to be crushing it with Facebook ads doesn't necessarily mean it's the best platform for your business. Maybe your audience is more into email marketing or even hanging out on some niche online forum somewhere where your competitor isn't even showing up. The key here is this. You want to focus on your customers and not theirs. Oh, and quick side note here on copying another business's marketing. Yeah, it's probably one of the fastest ways to go off the rails because, let's be honest, chances are they might not know what they're doing either. And so, if that's the case, all you're really doing is copying their mistakes. But let's say for argument's sake that your competition does know what they're doing. They've got the results to prove it and things are going well. Well, even then, just mimicking what they do is still probably not the right move. And here's why. One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make when they copy their competitors is confusing the strategies that their competitors are using now with the strategies that their competitors use to get to where they are, especially if that competitor seems to be ahead of you in any way. Here's the deal. There's a right strategy for every stage in a business's growth, and trying to skip ahead, well, that's a recipe for burnout and overwhelm and some serious cash flow issues. In the early stages of a business, the founder usually has more time than money, so they've got to focus on those unscalable but super high converting activities like relationship building and direct outreach and creating content. But as the business grows, the revenue starts coming in, and the founder simply can't do everything that they used to. And that's when it makes sense to shift the focus and start investing more money than time by hiring support and running ads and building better systems. But none of this matters if you don't get crystal clear on exactly who your ideal target market is and what their biggest pains and problems are, which is why I've linked up a super simple one-page marketing cheat sheet down in the descriptions below that you can download for free. And I'm also going to link up a video right here that's going to show you how to do market research quickly and easily, so you can get to know your customers better than they even know themselves. So feel free to tap or click that now, and I'll see you in there in just a second. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it, buddy? I mean, downloading a free cheat sheet or checking out a market research video? Sounds like one heck of a way to spend a day.